My guest today in this, which is apparently the second episode of this podcast, is Scott Bessey, coach of Spruce Mountain. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it.
And we're going to talk about the B and C title games, and we'll just get it right out of the way here. You do not have to pretend to be neutral on the B girls title game. No one expects you to be neutral in regards to that. So
good.
You're already wearing the shirt. So
yeah. That's all the gear I have. You look at my closet, it's all Spruce Mountain. So I have no choice. It's going to be Spruce something.
I'm wearing some shirt from a 5K I ran like 6 years ago. So just, you get to, you're like in your 20s and you buy all these cool clothes, and then you're in your 40s and you're like, these are just the clothes I have. I don't know. I don't know where they came from.
I haven't shopped for myself in a couple decades, I don't think.
Yeah. Shirts show up.
Yeah.
I went through a thing where I was going to try to collect a shirt from every school in the state, which I thought would be fun. And then the MPA is like, yeah, you can't wear shirts from schools at the tournament. I'm like, well, that would be the place to wear them. And so I just haven't. I think I'm up to like 3 shirts.
Awesome. So. We'll send you one.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. I'll add it to the collection. Yeah. I could wear it on these podcasts. That's where I could wear them. Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
Now I have a platform for wearing school shirts.
Absolutely.
For schools that I have no affiliation with.
That's right.
Beautiful. All right. So I wanted to talk to you first of all about scheduling, because scheduling has been sort of a topic of conversation. I know you're a big proponent of the scheduling being different than you generally speaking, and with conferences opening up their schedules and things like that. So you guys did that a little bit this year. How do you think that went?
I thought it went. I thought it was a great first step. Obviously, like the KVAC has a 2-year cycle, and they were in their second year, so none of the KVAC schools were available to play crossover. So we were kind of stuck with Western Maine Conference only, which was still great. I mean, we got to play Yarmouth, which is a great thing because we're always in the B South tournament together. We've matched up a couple times, in the past. So, playing them in the regular season was fantastic. And our other crossover was against Freeport, which, a Class A school. It helped our strength of schedule a little bit. The only disappointing thing there is they're a Class A school, and I think we missed an opportunity to play another B South team that we would possibly play in the tournament. But it was still a great experience. Right. Still kind of a first step in opening up. The NBC's never been open, so we kind of had to start somewhere. And I thought it was a great first step in doing that.
Yeah, and if the other conferences are on their second year of their schedule, there's not a ton you can do unless something weird happens, like the Massapequa girls situation, or the Brunswick girls situation, where they found themselves suddenly with 2 open dates.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about why. I think we all know why they had 2 open dates, but I don't know if anyone's allowed to say it.
Yeah, we'll keep it quiet.
But
no, the KVAC, being available next year. I mean, for us specifically, we got so many KVA schools that are physically close to us, that are regionally close to us, with the Marana Cooks, and the Levitts, and even the Mount Blues. We got so many schools that are close to us that, once they become available, and the opportunity to play them on our schedule is something we're looking forward to for sure.
I mean, that seems like it would make more sense to play Marana Cook than to go play Wiscasset.
Yes.
Even Wiscasset's competitiveness aside, just that's a lot closer, Marana Cook, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's our longest road trip, and even for Wiscasset, I mean, other than the Booth Bay trip, all of their trips in the MVC are hauls. I mean, going from Wiscasset to Bethel to Telstar is that's a brutal road trip. So yeah, I think it's going to.
There's not really any C schools near them, is there?
No, there isn't. That's
just Booth Bay, really, and I guess Richmond is close-ish.
Yeah, Richmond's close-ish. They're gonna travel no matter what.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it's kind of like Vinyl Haven.
We're
gonna have to travel. This is sort of how it works.
Yep.
So you think you'll be able to get more KVACs next year, and then I've heard rumors of the KVAC making some changes to their scheduling as well. So that would be interesting. You think, do you think that will help you be better prepared for the tournament? Because that's the big question with you guys, is you've had,
Well,
some trouble in the tournament.
yeah, I mean, and that's, obviously, I mean, it's a touchy subject,
Right.
close to heart, and I have my own feelings about it. I think what's going to help it is playing other B South teams. Not so much, our competitive schedule and all of that. It's being able to play, more B South teams that you can be familiar with when you possibly face them in the tournament.
Right.
That's what I'm most looking forward to, is not having to do such a deep dive into your opponent with video and streams and getting on the road, to be able to have a possible game under your belt, with them. When you're coaching kids, we get together, we watch film, we watch video, but the being able to compete against them and know firsthand, what personnel can do what, and to have that game experience on playing against them is huge. It's a big deal for a kid, I think.
And even if you haven't played them, even having opponents in common.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can look at it and go, oh, well, we didn't play Cape, but we played Yarmouth, and Yarmouth played Cape, and that's how, okay, so that's roughly what we're looking at here. And even to look at that tape and to be like, oh, okay, so now we can see how they matched up against the team we played.
Yeah, video doesn't do a good job on speed and size and athleticism. It doesn't do a good job on showing you that stuff. So if you've played against the kid and you know what he can do, and then even when you're watching him play against a possible future opponent, it gives you a much better frame of reference as to how athletic or how fast he is.
Right.
And I think, if you watch the B South, specifically boys and girls, all those quarterfinal games, every single one of them, and I think me and you might have sent a Twitter message, is I can't remember another region where every quarterfinal game was opponents that didn't face each other. They're all different conferences.
Yeah.
There was no regular season matchup between any of the teams that were in the quarterfinals, both boys and girls.
Yeah, which is just crazy.
It's great. And I don't know. I was talking to Kevin Millington and Joe Russo after our game, and I don't know if that makes a better tournament. I don't know if a better game is people that are playing each other for the third time, and I don't know. I don't know what makes a better tournament. It's like the A North. Every single game is going to be a third time playing each other, pretty much.
Right.
And that, in my mind, that's one of the more funner tournaments to watch. Historically,
and A North is just so deep every year that there's no easy outs in that tournament. It's not even seeding there. It's matchup. It's like, oh, you might want to be the set. You might be better off being the 7 than the 5.
Yeah.
Just because you don't match up as well with that team.
And you have a reference. If you've played them twice and you split with them, but you're a 7 seed and they're a 2 seed, but you split with them in the regular season. There's all sorts of references you can go back on and experiences and stuff. And I don't know what makes a better tournament. Maybe the viewers or the talking heads out there in Twitter world would know if a team playing the third time in a tournament game proves to be a better basketball game than two teams that have never seen each other before. I don't know.
I think they can both be cool. I like it. I always think, in the quarterfinals, I don't want to see a team that I've already played twice, unless I've already beaten them twice.
Yeah.
By a lot.
No. Right.
Because I'm like, we were at Madomic, we were looking at, last year, we got Oceanside in the first round, and it was like, even despite the fact that they won the whole thing, it was just like, really? Come on. We see them all the time. Give us anybody else. Yeah. Anybody else. We don't care. Just give us a different team to play.
Yeah.
Because we play them 15 times a year.
Right.
So it's just enough already. Give me a Lake Region, or give me a Spruce, give me something.
Yeah.
Something I haven't seen before, at least in the first round.
Yeah.
Make it a little fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I can flip flop and go both ways. Is a lot of times I'm just hoping that Mountain Valley or Oak Hill or Lisbon, make it in, so we can face them in the quarterfinal, just so we don't have to do such a deep dive into film and scouting and trying to convince the players of a certain game plan because they've never faced this team before. And and it's a grind to do it once in a while. It'd be kind of nice to play a familiar opponent. That's why playing Yarmouth during the regular season, I mean, was cool because if we happened to meet them, which we would have if we were able to survive that 0.1 seconds, we would have had that. We would have had that Yarmouth matchup, and I think I liked our chances to at least be competitive because of that game that we played in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. That was a hell of a quarterfinal game you had, though. That was something to watch. I mean, you didn't enjoy the ending of it, but
it was tough.
And I think part of like the whole talking head about like you guys in the tournaments, especially, I think it's just like every one of the ones I've seen of your quarterfinal games that you've had a shot.
Oh yeah,
at the very end. Yeah. And it's not like you're going in there and getting like roasted.
Right. I think we've only been, I would say I've been there 9 years, and then my brother Chris was there the first 3. So in the 12 years that Spruce has been around, we've gone down there, and I can only remember one time we've gone down there and just gotten waxed, and it was Great New Gloucester about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, where we just got blown. Like you said, every other game, whether it's Cape or Rannocook, no matter who it is, it's usually a ball game, and it comes down to getting a bounce here and there, a call here and there, and I'm not going to use the word curse, but it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny that. It's just we have yet to catch a real good break down there yet.
Yeah, and like if you had caught a break 6 years ago, there would be no conversation.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be a thing anymore. It's just one of those stupid narratives, I think, that, like Peyton Manning not able to win the big one or whatever, and then he wins it, and everyone just shuts up about it. It just goes away forever.
Yeah.
So
until you do it, I try to stay quiet because they're right. We gotta get it done. In 2017, we were a shot away from a regional final. We did win the quarterfinal and got to the semis, and Wells got us at the last second. We had a shot to win it, and it didn't go in. And out of the 12 years, we've been to the semis twice, so we've had a couple quarterfinal wins. But it's only 12 years. I mean, we're still a young infant type school, where we're okay. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep building, and as long as we keep giving ourselves shots, it'll go our way.
I heard. Somebody got their first semifinal in like 20-something years this year, and it was not a school you would have expected. It was like Caribou, I think, the Caribou girls, and it was just like, really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked that Brewers never won a state championship before. That surprised me. I didn't know it until halfway through the season when they were one of the more dominant Class A teams, and they started talking about this being their year. Up until I started hearing it this year, I would have assumed Brewer had won a couple, but
the thing that one of the ones that always surprises people is Madomic hasn't won it since 1980.
Yeah.
It just seems crazy because they were right there for that Cape game. We won't talk about that Cape game.
Right.
A little bit of PTSD.
I remember it. Brutal.
Oh, all right. So let's talk about these tournament teams. All right. So you want to do B or C first? What do you think?
Let's do C, and to be, full disclosure, I'm not going to be a real good talking head on the girls C.
Okay.
I'll give my thoughts on it. My thoughts.
Let's start with that one.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
All right. So we got Dexter and OOB. And Elise McNair she's just a bucket, a walking bucket.
Yeah.
Like I think you probably saw some of those games at the Civic Center. And she's just incredible. Like I was talking to Mike Gray. He's like, yeah, she could play an A easily. She would do just as well in A.
Absolutely. She's a college player. Where's she going, Bowdoin? She won a Bowdoin? I think she's going to Bowdoin, I believe.
I forget. I heard that and I don't remember.
Yeah. That's what she looks like. She looks like a college player out there. It could be the level she's playing at, but yeah, I have no doubt that she could play at any level. She's, like you said, she's a bucket, does everything, rebounds, can handle the ball, can shoot it, can post. Yeah, she does everything. She's awesome. She's fun to watch.
Yeah. And have you seen Dexter? I haven't seen Dexter at all. I haven't seen either of the of the North teams, and I wasn't ready for some of these North teams to be in the state game.
No,
I wasn't.
I haven't seen Dexter at all either. I'm familiar with the Dexter boys, Peter Murray and Will Kazniers and Dexter boys, but as the Dexter girls were making their way up through, there was just so many tournament games to watch, and unfortunately, the C North girls, I didn't really get my eyes on, at all.
And that's usually a really deep region. It was less deep this year. I think Dexter kind of ran away with it a little bit. And I know there was some drama with Penobscot Valley, I think, did you see that Instagram post?
No.
Where like the coach posted something on Instagram. He was pretty pissed off at the end of the game, something about how we play the right way and something like that. I'm not sure. Got shared around.
Okay.
It was a little salty, which
Yeah.
I love a little bit of saltiness. It's fun,
Yeah. It is.
It's got spread around quite a bit.
But I'll take Old Orchard. I'll take them. I mean, maybe that's Southern bias or what, even though I'm 2.5 hours away from Old Orchard Beach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll, if I'm going to
That would
leave.
have been a fun drive for them in the snow.
Yeah, that's not crazy. It's good.
Everyone was talking about Seacoast, and I just kept going, guys, Old Orchard Beach is pretty far from Bangor. That's a long drive.
That's a haul. It is for sure.
Yeah.
How about, oh no, we can talk about it when we talk about B, but
Okay. All right. So the model I'm going to have you pick against the model, but it's it's pretty much a toss up. The model has Dexter by 0.7.
Ooh, so the model's picking a good game.
The model's picking a good game. That probably ends up being the game of the day. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of options. But yeah, Dexter's solid. I'm pretty sure they ran away with that region.
Do you have,
for the most part?
Do you have your media guide area where they're plus minus and how many points they score, how many points they give up? I was actually
somewhere.
How multitask this?
Yeah, I'm gonna see. We're gonna learn right now in this program if I go away from it, what happens.
Yeah.
Which of these 8 million tabs is this? Let's see. Can you still see me, or do you now see my screen?
Nope, I see you.
Okay, good. All right, so media guides. We'll go to the C North Media Guide. There we go. Let's see. Oh, we'll leave that up for Callis. See, I thought the Dexter boys were going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Dexter girls, they are 43 points a game. That is 64th in the state and 8th in C North. They are 23.5 allowed, which is 3rd in the state, and they have a plus minus of 360.
Wow.
So yeah, a little bit. They lost to Penobscot Valley on January 19th, 31-40. And then they just ripped off a string of wins against Piscataquis and George Stevens, and where they were just blowing people out. But, I mean, they have a lot of games where the other team scores in the teens.
Wow.
They had a stretch where they gave up, after their loss to Penobscot Valley, they gave up 24-18, 12-13, 15, and then they finished the year with 2 games in the 30s.
Wow. So they defend the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the question will be, can Elise McNair get enough buckets against them?
Yeah. Will it be, like a 35-31 game where Elise has, 28?
It might be. That might be what we're looking at. Yeah. It might be a shot clock game.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll stick with it though. All right. So the model has Dexter as 0.7.
0.7.
Yeah, I'll take
a toss up basically.
I'll take OOB by 1.
All right. All right. So then let's do the boys. So we have Dirigo, defending champs, Charlie Houghton, etc. And then we have Callis coming out of the north. And let me bring that back up. Let's get Callis's information now that we know we can do this.
Yeah. I got Callis's. I wrote a bunch of notes down. So they're at like 76 points per game, and they give up 56 points.
Wow. So that'll be higher scoring.
No, this will be an up. This might. I don't know what the model has it at as far as a good game, but I think this is going to be a blast to watch.
So 76.4 points a game. That's second in the state.
Yeah,
behind that'd be behind Oceanside.
Yeah.
56 allowed, which is third in C North, and they have a plus minus of 353. So the pace of play has got to be pretty high there.
Yeah, and Durgo, I believe, is going to be. I mean, I don't think they score as much, but I think they defend a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I bet their plus minus is. Oh, they've had some close games.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a blast. I know. I mean, you got Jace Cook, the MVP of the North tournament, against Charlie, the MVP of the South tournament. You know, I can already tell you that Trenton Hutchinson's going to be face guarding Jace Cook, and that Soka Basin from Callis is going to be face guarding Charlie. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of the role play, not really the role players, but the players who you wouldn't think, like a Dakota Tompkins going for 5 and yeah, I think it's going to be a blast to watch. I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch.
All right, so here's Dirigo. This is kind of the Spider-Man, pointing at Spider-Man meme. 69.94 points a game. That's sixth in the state. 49.39 allowed. That's 45th in the state, and a plus minus of 370.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 370. So Callis was plus 353 and Dirt 370. Yeah. Gonna be
so it'll be in the 30s.
Yeah.
Is what will happen.
Yes.
They'll both come in cold. They'll both be shooting 20%, and it'll be in the 30s. Or it'll be first team to 100 wins. Yeah. It's going to be, those are the two options there, I think.
I'm hoping for the latter. I'm hoping for,
wouldn't that be fun?
Shoot the lights out. Game in the 80s would be fun.
All right, so the model has this Dirigo by 1.8.
I'll take Dirigo. So experienced. I mean, they got 8 seniors, and I think
do they have 8? Wow.
Yeah, they got 8 seniors, and they all play. Their starting 5 is the only non-senior is the Wainwright kid. But I mean, I've been competing against these guys since the 4th grade, and this group's a pretty special group. Great kids, They do everything. I mean, Charlie can play all over. He can play on the post. He can go out and bang threes, and Hutchinson's probably the best perimeter defender I've seen in years. Dakota can do everything. Tolman's a spot up 3 guy, but then he's an unbelievable defender too. It's I'm hoping that they win. I'm hoping they go out with back-to-back, but I'm going to be very happy to see them graduate and leave because I'm sick of playing.
You're the A North girls coaches when JC Christopher exactly. graduates. It's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Great kid.
Enough.
Good luck, but I'm glad you got
See you later.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move over to B. Unless you got anything else you want to add on Class C?
Nope. Just
you've played most of the South teams in your region.
Yeah.
Right, and they're in your conference.
Yeah, for the C, right? C South. Yeah.
Right.
That's the tournament I watch the most of because that's who we play during the regular season, and usually historically the state champion usually comes out of our conference in Class C. So yeah, it's a fun tournament to watch for us for sure.
And it's a quicker drive. It's a shorter drive than going back down to the Expo.
It's a shorter drive to the best venue in the state. Yes.
They should really, I was talking to a bunch of people during the or after the A games, we really should just do all of the state games there.
Yeah, I agree.
It's centrally located-ish, unless you're Caribou or Presque Isle, of course.
You got Ellsworth and Spruce from Jay playing their state championship game in Portland.
all of the B teams, Augusta's closer for all of them.
Yeah, I know.
And so there was talk of when they moved it that was going to maybe set a precedent for flex scheduling of state games.
Yeah, and even there's been rumors the last few years of looking at, early round matchups like a Spruce and Marana Cook, meeting in a quarterfinal or semifinal and having that game at the Civic Center. You'll sell more tickets, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Half our community doesn't come to Portland for multiple reasons. But to have it in Augusta, I know for us, it would probably double our ticket sales for sure.
The thing I want to see them do, and it's probably never going to happen, is you have the quarterfinal block of games, right? And you've got the last game. I just want them to shuffle it so that the teams that are the closest to the venue play the last game.
Agreed.
That's all I want. And the first game. Like, don't put Vinyl Haven in the first game.
Yeah.
Put them, make it easy for them to get there. Don't put, you guys in the final game at the Expo when you've got Cape right there. You got, a Cape Yarmouth game right before it. It just doesn't make any sense.
I would rather play the late game than the first game. I can tell you that. Last year when Spruce and Lincoln girls played in the 9 a.m. Saturday game.
Oh, yeah.
9 a.m. Saturday game, Spruce and Lincoln Academy. It was I've heard this from a very reliable source, that it was the lowest grossing tournament game ever.
Yeah. It was an ugly game, too.
Do what you want with that information, but it doesn't seem like it makes much sense to put two teams traveling that far at 9 a.m.
And 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus, the 9 a.m. game just sucks so much.
It's brutal. It's going down you have to.
And you just, you're not ready. You want to stand in the tunnel and, watch the end of the previous game, I think. That's probably always preferable to not be the first game of the day in any regards, but 9 o'clock on Saturday is just awful.
Yeah, you want to, as a coach, you want to have your team be prepared to play the best game of their lives, of their season. And you're playing, 7 o'clock PM games all season long, maybe a Saturday, late afternoon. And then you get to the tournament with your, because you had a great season, and then your first quarterfinal game is a 9 a.m. game when you're 2 hours at a 6 a.m. wake up call. It's tough to get all cylinders.
When I played, I had trouble adjusting to the afternoon games. It would take me a few minutes to get get my bearings, because you'd have the sun coming through the windows and you get some weird things, and it just threw you a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I wasn't very good, because I couldn't even adjust to a 1 p.m. Saturday game.
It's hard, so even the occasional Saturday afternoon game that we have for some reason, as a coach, you worry about all that stuff, the routine, a school day, weekday game is common, right? You get up, you go to school, you have lunch, you go home, you have you have that routine where by 7 o'clock you're firing. But then you have a Saturday game, so you're dealing with 15, 16-year-old. Are they staying up all? Are they playing their video games until 2 a.m.? Going to bed, and then are they waking up early? They're sleeping until noon, and it's just all routine based that you just hope, right?
Yeah.
You hope
are they getting their nutrition? When are they doing their nutrition? When are they eating? How they're on. If you're not on the schedule, then you've got to sort of you just even have to go okay, wait. So if I want to eat this many minutes before tonight, okay. Yeah. But that makes sense to me.
But they're kids, so they probably, have their pack of Sour Patch Kids and they're in their head on, and it's, oh crap, I got to go. I got to get up to the gym in 20 minutes.
They're ready to go. They're young. They don't have to do 80 minutes of stretching like we do. All right, so let's go to B. We'll do B boys first, because we'll save the best for you for last. So we have Orono, to everyone's surprise.
Yeah.
And which was kind of a shock, I think, because everyone thought that was going to be Ellsworth. It was the Chance Mercier show.
It wasn't the game. I assumed it too, right? Chance it is arguably the best player in the state. I think I would draft him. You take the seniors out of it, I guess. I think I think I would draft him first if I was drafting a team. I love the way he plays. He's a tough SOB. He does everything, and you know, I had all that all season long, but I watched that game, and Orno's freaking good. You know, it didn't seem like an upset the way that they were playing. It was like, you know, after a few minutes, it's like Orno's freaking good. You know, and you know, with the Francis brothers, I think Will was defending Mercia pretty much the whole game and working his tail off. And you know, Chance is good. I mean, if his offense is on, you're not going to stop him anyway. All you can do is just kind of make him work for it. And I thought they did a good job of that. And Pierce Walston, man, Pierce Walston is right there. I mean, if he's right there with him, I mean, I know he was second in their league MVP voting, player of the year vote. And he's no joke. He was great in the regional final. I mean, he kind of outplayed Chance a little bit in that regional final.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, it was watching it. I went in with already predetermined that, you know, Ellsworth is a juggernaut, and you know they're probably going to go 22-0 with a goal ball. But then a few minutes into that game, you know, I was like, Orno is freaking good, and
that's the beauty of the tournament.
Yeah, and I think
you never know.
I think even when they met in the regular season, I know Orno's first loss was to Ellsworth. But
I can bring that up.
They were not blowouts. They were not one-sided, lopsided games. So yeah, I mean, they're good.
I'm going to bring it up here. Thing boys B North. So Ellsworth 18-0, Orno 15-3. So it was a 60-49 game on the 29th of December.
Yep.
At Orno, or no, at home for Ellsworth. So in Ellsworth. And then, where's the other one? Maybe they only played once.
And then I believe Orno's other loss was to Old Town. Is that right?
They lost twice. 3 times. They lost to Baps somehow.
John Baps.
And they lost to Old Town 54-41 right at the end of the season. And
then Ellsworth was their third. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I think the Baps loss maybe made it a little more surprising than.
Yeah.
That you wonder if that was someone was sick or someone was hurt or
right, or
not maybe, full strength.
Maybe Baps shot the lights out and it's just one of those things.
All right. So then on the south we have Oceanside, who a lot of people expected to be there.
Yeah.
You've definitely seen them. You got the Galley twins, who are just a nightmare to defend. And you've got the big guy Collins down low, and then a bunch of other people. Yep.
Zeb Foster.
Sophomore.
He's got around about 10 points per game. But yeah, I mean, it's the Galleys. I mean, it's you know, they score 80 points a game, and those two combined for about 40 of those 80.
And Cohen had some shots in that tournament where he put some English on that ball that was just unbelievable.
Ultimate green light, both of them. Both of them have the ultimate to fire away, and it's a you know, when you got your whole town and your whole team and your coaching staff saying, we don't care how many times you shoot it, you gotta score. It's you can do some pretty special things when you got that ultimate green light, and they're doing it. They're only juniors, which is scary as heck. You know,
not something to look forward to for next year.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope we take care of it.
They might be going to the north anyway, so
yeah. If it that's a whole nother. You got me all screwed up now.
Sorry,
but I mean, they did their regional tournament. They didn't. I mean, Cape Elizabeth led almost that whole game in the quarterfinals, and you know they won by 3. They had to come back and win it. You know, the Madomic game. You know, it was not easy.
No, that was a real grind for them and Madomic. It was one of those things where they were up like Oceanside was up like 5-7 most of the way, and like they couldn't. Every time they'd push it out a little bit, Madomic would make a run, but Madomic couldn't put enough buckets together to get over that 5-point hump.
Get over the hump,
and then it came down to free throws down the stretch. And if they're such good free throw shooters that, and they're holding the ball the whole time, so it's a really tricky situation if you get a late game against them where you're down 4.
It is,
because
not only can they
got a foul.
Not only can they make free throws, it's even if it's a tight game, the Galleys are so strong and are so great at not turning it over. To put the ball in either of their hands in a pressure situation, it's a luxury. It's an absolute luxury, and they're going to be hard. You know, like you said, they're going to be hard if they got the lead late with those two, with their free throw shooting and their ball handling ability, and just their toughness. And they're and then the Yarmouth game. I mean, Jesus, the Yarmouth game was as good as it gets from an entertainment standpoint. I mean,
so I missed that one. I went to the AA games that day because I, as a Madonna person, had seen enough Oceanside for one day, for 1 year.
Right.
And I was good. I'm like, I'm going to go watch some AA games instead.
I did the same thing. As soon as the Spruce Oceanside game was over, I scooted up for the Oxford Hills Chevrolet game up at the big building. But then when I got home, I watched that Yarmouth Oceanside Boys game. And I don't wish I would have stayed because of what happened at the end of the Chevrolet Oxford Hills game. That was
something. Yeah.
Something. But I ended up rewatching the Yarmouth Oceanside Boys game, and I kind of wish I would have stayed because, you know, Yarmouth's freaking good. I mean, Yarmouth is the pedigree, right? The history, you know, they have winners down there, and Stevie Walsh just put on a show, but so did the Galleys. It was a Rocky movie. It was a slugfest, you know, a haymaker and then a return haymaker and survived to the end, like you said, on free throws and in overtime.
For Yarmouth, the guy I really like to watch there is the point guard, Gattero. Is it Gattero? Am I saying that right?
Gotro. Yeah.
He's so much fun to watch. He's just got that, like, I love the little, like, water bug point guard who's a good 4 inches shorter than everybody else, and is just everywhere. Explosive.
He can go by. And he's a streaky shooter. I mean, I've seen when we were preparing to play them, I watched a ton of video on him, you know, and he could miss, you know, 14 threes in a row, and then hit 5 in a row. But always with the ability to go by, you know, he could go by, and he's a facilitator. He's got really good players around him. But if he gets that shot going, that makes them really, really, really good. And he's only a junior. Him and Ham are only juniors, and Walsh is a senior, but Gotro and Ham are both juniors, so they'll be back next year.
So if B South by some miracle stays the way it is, so you would have Jace is going to be a junior, right, next year?
Yep.
The Galleys would be seniors. You would have
Yarmouth.
The Yarmouth guys are going to be seniors.
Yep.
Gabe Lash will be a junior.
Yep. And the other Madomic player, what's his name?
Donlin.
Yeah, he's going to be. He'll be a
senior. He'll be a senior. The Meller kid, who was the hero in their quarterfinal game, I think he'll be a junior. Is he a sophomore? Something like that. It's going to be, and Lincoln, they're not all seniors. There's some of them are seniors. Hagar's not.
Hagar's a junior. The kid, Styles is a junior. The kid that hit the big kid, the coach's kid's only a sophomore, I believe. So I expect Lincoln to be there. Oceanside's definitely going to be there. Madomic will be there. We're going to be really young. I mean, we're going to be really young. Jace is going to be a junior, but we're going to have 2 sophomores, maybe a freshman starting. Wow. Yeah, we hope to be back, and I expect to be back, but we'll see. It's going to be a big off season. Yep.
What it'll be is you'll come back, but you'll end up like as the 6th seed, and then you'll pull off an upset, and then it will flip the narrative for everybody. They'll go, "Oh my god!"
Let's throw some games in the regular season and get like an 8 seed, and maybe that
pull off.
That'll do it.
There you go. Yeah, it won't quite be like the year when you were talking about A North earlier. It reminded me of the one year when they had the 12 teams there. I emailed one of the coaches and I was like, "Okay, so realistically, how many teams can win this thing, the whole region?" And he goes 10.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wow, okay." Then.
Well, that was probably when Madomic was 18-0, and that was when Scout Egan got him right. No,
it wasn't that year. I think it was. I want to say it was the year they were the 8 and nearly beat Coney.
Okay.
In the 1-8 game. It was somewhere in that range. I don't think it was. Yeah, and I don't think it was the DePatsy teams. I think it was somewhere in there. Yeah. Okay, so the model for this, for Orono Oceanside, Orono by 3.3, which was a surprise to me.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. It really is.
So the issue with the model and Oceanside, other than the fact that I clearly have rigged it, which is the thing that people have been saying. Did I ever tell you this? So one of the reasons I went anonymous.
Yeah.
Was when I first did it, because my brother's a coach, so that was one reason. And then I just didn't want anyone to think it was like biased in any way.
Right.
I wanted it to speak for itself. So I post it, and I kid you not, 20 minutes after I post it on the old MBR forums, someone goes, Oceanside should be higher and Medavik should be lower. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like 130 teams in the state? You're kidding me, right? So the issue with Oceanside is their schedule is really weak. And they blow people out, but the model doesn't give you a lot of credit for blowing out weak teams. And, they've got Belfast on there twice, and they've got some stuff like that. And so their strength of schedule is usually pretty low because it's just how it works. Just the bottom of the KVAC is a little weak compared to, say, the bottom of
the Western Main Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they always get discounted a little bit by the model.
Yeah.
For that reason, and it's like a yearly thing where they complain about it.
Yeah, I don't. I'm glad I put my eyes on Orono, other than reading articles and watching big time hoops highlights of Pierce Walston and stuff like that. I'm glad I put my eyes on him on that Ellsworth game because, I struggled with predicting this one. I would have said Oceanside if I didn't watch the game and saw that Ellsworth got beat. Right, I was picking Ellsworth 22-0 with a goal ball, and then by getting upset, I would have said Oceanside's going to win it now. I'm glad I watched Orono play because they're a lot better than I think I gave them credit for just by reading articles and coming to my own conclusions.
That Southern Maine bias you got going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's but I'll take Oceanside. I'll take Oceanside just to stick with the South, and I'll probably see them more. And if I pick against them, I could see the Galley's dad haymaker.
You'll hear about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. There's more downside to that.
That
makes sense. All right,
but
let's move to the girls.
I will say this: Pierce Walston. Okay. Pierce Walston, one of the early favorites for Mr. Basketball next year.
So is Mr. Basketball? I was going to mention this with the chance discussion. I thought he would go to the state game, and that would be the start of his Mr. Basketball campaign.
Yeah.
Kind of like with the Maranacook kid. I'm so bad at names.
Yeah.
The Maranacook.
Yeah, McClure, Cash.
Yeah. Yeah, because Cash had that big game on TV, and a lot of Mr. Basketball is how much are you on TV?
Oh, no question.
And
no question.
Like we all knew Lizzie Gruber was Miss Basketball, like 2 years ago because, partly because she put up video game numbers every game.
You're right.
And then partly because but after a point, it's just the conversation's over and it's just decided.
Yeah.
Which is what you get with any MVP race, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's exposure. No question. It's exposure and name recognition. There's no question that goes into it. And chance. Chance is going to be right there. Obviously, I mean, I think he average like 28 points per game on
something crazy like that. Yeah,
got upset in a regional final. Kind of upset. Yeah, I would call it an upset, except that I watched the game and Orono is good. Good enough to beat them. I wouldn't call it an upset having watched the game. But I think
so they could shock the world.
Yeah, never seen Orono play, and they're 15-3. They were a 3 seed, and they end up winning the state championship. People that maybe didn't get a chance to watch them would be shocked by that. But just go and watch them, and they're freaking good.
If you can get into the expo on Tuesday, because it's going to be full.
I got my ticket already.
Good thing I'm going early, I think.
Yeah.
Get there real early so I can get my seat next to Don Shields. Sitting next to Don Shields is great because it's like having a spotter. It's like a free spotter right over your shoulder. And, you're doing that. If I'm on the app, the iPad, doing the stats, and I'm like, oh, who got that rebound? And he's calling it out and we're off to the races. I'm like, oh, this is great.
That's perfect. That's good. No, I'll be there.
All right, so let's move on to the game that you care the most about, Spruce Mountain and Ellsworth. You want to say anything about the Spruce Mountain team? This is your opportunity.
Special. I'll say that. Special. We've got to know. It's a small community. We got to know these group of girls as they were coming into middle school and just dominating. And I'm not going to say we expected this because a lot has to go your way. A lot has to go right. But I think Zach, got down there and got working with them, when they're in the middle school age, and I don't think they lost the game. These seniors and these juniors, when they were 7th and 6th and 8th and 7th, and then when the juniors were in 8th grade, I don't think they lost a game in middle school. Now that's
wow.
As the varsity basketball coach in high school, you take that with kind of a grain. It's a good reference, right? They're obviously good. It isn't like our middle school plays a statewide league, so it's definitely regionalized with who you play in middle school. The Augusta area. You're playing the Conies and the Gardners, and obviously the Marana Cooks and the Winthrops, and you're playing and you're not losing. So you're really good in that region. Now, does that translate into Southern Maine and Northern Maine? We don't know, but we know at least
it's not like you play the bus line champions.
Right.
Anything like that.
So we knew they were special. We knew they were going to be championship level type contenders because of how hard they were. Their work ethic and their toughness and their mental toughness, and Zach's put a lot of time in with them. And I'm not shocked that they're here. But for the community, it's huge. It's huge for this community to be playing for a big state championship. We haven't had this is our first.
Yeah, you can expect that there's been lots of teams that we've all seen that we all expected to be in state games and didn't.
Right,
didn't get there once. So
right.
It takes you have to have a lot go right to get to a state game and to win a state game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely something. Now, are they gonna? You said that they don't like to travel. The Jay and Livermore Falls crowd. They don't like to come to Portland or go to Portland. Are they gonna show up for this one?
Yeah.
You think?
And the crowd has progressively gotten bigger as each time they've won. The regional final, I was very impressed with the amount of people that came down. I think Tuesday, I think we'll be okay. Do I think there would be more if it was in Augusta?
If it was Augusta?
I think the whole town.
Well, you could fit more.
I think the whole town, and I just think it's the parking, the convenience of for us for these people going to Augusta. If you're 60 years old, you're not 60. You're not going to Portland,
right?
You're not driving to Portland, but they would go to Augusta in a second. Big old parking lot. You don't have to worry about the Portland traffic and park and all the craziness that goes on down there. We'll have a good crowd though. I can promise you that. Probably the biggest ones we've sent down there. The time of day is good. We're looking forward to it for sure. Zach's got them ready too. I've gone into a practice and talked to him and Jared, and they got them going. They're ready.
I think having Jared is maybe the part of this that no one's talking about.
Yeah.
That's been, from what I've seen and talking to them, it seems like that's been a big help.
Yeah.
Is having an assistant there who was a head coach and knows as much as Jared does.
Yeah. No, massive hire. For an unpaid position, it was a massive hire.
Right.
No, he's great. Love him. He's been, and my niece Alex, 1,000-point scorer for Spruce. is on the staff again this year. Not again, for the first time this year.
Mm-hmm.
So just adding what he's added for experience, and it was just almost perfect. You got a girl that played there that isn't that far removed from it, that knows what they're going through, that played at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
And you got someone like Jared, who's just another varsity coach on your bench with another set of eyes that it's impossible for, the head coach to see everything, to coach everything, and to have another, varsity head coach there to be helping out it's invaluable. He's been great.
Yeah, you can't see everything. You gotta have a whole team of people.
Yep.
On that bench.
Agreed.
Yeah. And are we allowed to talk about the Zach thing with the whole where they tried to fire him? I'm sure glad they didn't at this point.
I'm gonna go with no, we're not.
Okay. All right. I figured I had to ask.
Yeah.
But
although the investigative reporting was top notch.
Thank you.
Top notch. A lot of work. You put in a lot of work.
Yeah, it took a long time to write that. Yeah, it was just one of those things where I read the article and I went, this doesn't add up. This doesn't make any sense. And then you just start pulling at threads and you're like, wait a minute. And I remember emailing you and you're like, I can't talk about this.
Yeah.
I can't answer any of your
questions. Yeah, I plead the fifth. Yeah.
And then you immediately apologized that you couldn't answer any of my questions.
It all works out. I'm sure. I mean, all relationships right now are good. They're healthy. They're solid. There's trust. And I think, without that, I don't think any of this happens. I don't think anybody's really being successful unless we're all on the same page. And we have been, and it's all good. It's water under the bridge. And Zach's, to his credit, has, moved on. He did immediately and just got back into work with his, with the group. And I think these girls were very, very young, like in the middle school age when all that was going down. And he didn't skip, and we're all thankful. We're all thankful for it.
The part about I liked was you hear all these stories about like parents trying to push the coach out, at like, it seems like almost every program. And I really liked that the parents were like, no, we like this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And stood up for him. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Absent everything else, it was just refreshing to see that.
Yeah.
Be the storyline and not, the coach doesn't play my kid enough. Oh, my kid I was sitting in the stands once and this woman, and I won't say who the teams were. It was years ago though. It was like a boys game. And this woman's complaining about her kid doesn't get enough playing time and blah, blah, blah. And the coaches have it out for him, blah, 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 blah. And this kid is like, he's a power forward, I think, something like that. He's a big guy. And he comes off the bench and he played maybe 15 minutes. And I looked at her and I said, and she was sitting like really close to me. And I was like, he has 8 turnovers.
We don't look at
He's not the point guard. Shut up.
We don't look at that. We got the blinders on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It would throw me. I can't sit in this fan section anymore. I got to sit like away because you just want to strangle somebody.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm the same way, and it comes off as being a snob, and I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not that. It's just you don't want to punch someone. I have a hard time keeping my mouth.
That's why I sit up in my corner at the Civic Center, away from everybody. I got my table. It's great. I can spread out.
Yeah, you got a good spot.
It's a great spot. It's a great spot. So Spruce will be playing Ellsworth, who we didn't think the girls' Ellsworth team would be there. We thought it would be the boys' team. We thought everyone thought this was going to be Old Town.
Yeah.
And then I remember I wrote something around the regional final going, and I think I said, because the Spruce girls were giving me Caribou vibes. Caribou, the year no one thought they could beat Herman. And I had that vibe. And I was like, this team is better than people are giving them credit for. And I got the same vibe with Ellsworth. And I think I wrote that in the newsletter. Like, this might be Spruce all over again. Because it was the next night. And they did it. And they've been very quietly sneaking up on people in B North.
Yeah, they can shoot it. I think they set a tournament record on one of the games for 3 points.
I think they tied it. They hit like 11 or something like that in the quarterfinals.
They're very similar to Spruce in every way. Spruce doesn't have a lot of size. They have a lot of guards. They can shoot the heck out of it. And Ellsworth is a mirror image of that. They play up tempo and they shoot threes. It should be a fun game. It should be a fun game to watch. You know, they don't have a Bailey Breen that they, you know, try to throw it down into, you know, quite often as they should. But no, they get up and they can shoot it. Their personnel, it's very similar to Spruce. It's crazy. It's you look at what they're shooting, and it's the same strengths as Spruce, and their weaknesses are the same weaknesses as Spruce, and it's going to come down to coaching, Zach. No,
there you go.
Gonna be
no pressure.
Going to be another fun game to watch for sure. But I have faith in our girls for sure.
So we're going to get, basically what you're telling me is we're going to get 2 pretty high tempo Class B games.
It's going to be a fun night.
In a gym that will barely hold the number of people who are going to be there. Because you know Ellsworth is showing up with people.
Yeah.
And Spruce is going to show up because it's the first state game ever, and Oceanside always travels.
Yeah.
And Orono's going to travel. So
I mean, anyone that's been in the expo.
I was talking to someone at the MPA. I'm like, do you guys think they're going to fit in that expo building? Because I don't.
Well, we're not.
And he's like, well, you know.
So the expo thinks that, you know, you have the double A's, and then we can fit every other class in here, no problem, because they're not double A schools. Even though these communities travel and love their basketball teams, and you know, when you look at the side of the expo and they say they have the little signs on the wall that says Spruce Mountain and Oceanside, and you look at that little quadrant that they gave, that's not going to be enough.
No.
That's not going to be enough.
No, you think we would have learned this lesson with Caribou when they came down to Portland, and it was that was in
the big building. This one's in
the big building.
Right.
I sit up in the hockey rink press box because I got to be up higher, and there were drunk Caribou fans in that press box the entire night. They were very drunk. They were having a great time.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't know how long they had been in the old port before the game started, but it had been a while.
The whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they got down there the night before, and they just had been on like an 18-hour.
Why not?
Right? You're there, man.
Right.
All right. So
what's the model got?
So the model has Ellsworth by 3.3.
Spruce all day long.
So I DM'd that to Zach because the model had Oceanside by 3.4. And he's like, "This is easy. It's no problem.
Yeah.
It's easier."
Yeah. No. He's got him going. He's ready. We're all ready. He's gonna get it done. I hope for a great game. I hope 70 something. You know, a ton of records falling, and then hoisting that goal ball for this community would be unbelievable. We're all excited for it.
Yeah, because you guys just had like a mill close, right? Did I hear that something?
We had one mill close. I don't know, it's 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and then the biggest, latest one, they finally shut the door. They've been slowly shutting machines down over the year. Used to have 5 machines, and they shut one down for it. And then we had that big explosion that happened up here.
Oh yeah, years
ago. And
what was that?
It was
like 2018.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. Yep. No, just it was right before COVID, I believe. It was
okay.
It was right as COVID was hitting, actually. And then they got a bunch of insurance money and promised to rebuild, and never did. Never did.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they've shut it down and sold it. Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
All that to say is the town's been hit pretty hard over the last 20 years with all these closures and enrollment dropping and people leaving town and this is going to be awesome. This will be some healing going on, that's for sure.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. So I think that's everything I got. You wanna talk about anything else?
No, just
All
more
right.
appreciation of you, taking the mask off and and
Well, it was the BDN. It's the BDN's fault because they're like, "Will you write this column for us?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." Because they said we want you to have opinions and put them in the